welcome, one and all. Once again, you are listening to Empower Volusia Common Sense, and we are here bringing you some common sense today. And we're coming to you from an undisclosed location hidden in an iron bunker in the upper highlands of West Volusia County, guarded by two rabid Pomeranians and one crazy cat. And they had their little words this morning. It was kind of interesting when you have a crazy cat that weighs a little bit more than your rabid Pomeranians, and it gets interesting. But regardless, hey, we're doing this. Today's date is Saturday. Yes, Saturday, September 14th, 2019. Why am I doing a Saturday? Because I, being a man of many, many talents, that I draw, I'm an artist, I'm a musician, I'm all kinds of things. But I'm also a web developer, and this is very important because we have just now created the JasonDavisPodcast.com, and we are up and running, and we got it, a couple of the bugs worked out. We're working on making it look better. So there is a contact us page. If you see something you might want to update us on and say, hey, this might look a little better or whatever, we take constructive criticism quite well. And, of course, you're listening to this, and you might be listening to this on JasonDavisPodcast.com, which is great. Which is also, you can still hear us on Facebook and or hear us on Facebook, YouTube, on iTunes, on Twitter. We're all around the world there. And we're getting out more and more every single day. And we're working on some negotiations with some people who might actually want to give us a little hand. And that's great, and you can do that too. But anyways, and if you want to drop me a line, it's on JasonDavisPodcast.gmail.com. So you can, it's all about Jason Davis Podcast, I guess. I guess the better half, she probably is getting annoyed with hearing about the Jason Davis Podcast.com thing. Anyways, I worked on it for, oh my goodness, we got the website, and I've been working on it pretty steadily there for about 4 or 5 days. Finally got it up. And it's just kind of a subnote to to the subject that we're going to talk about. Not really even part of it, but I've just realized that our society is a mess. Well, actually, I've known about it, but this really proves it. If you don't use the cookie cutter templates for a web page and you want to create your own, how dare you? You're out there. You're weird. Oh my gosh, you can't find hardly any software out there to build a website unless you're connected to the internet and you have to use their, I'm going to say it's stupid templates. I'm not a, don't try to stick me in a poll. Don't try to put rubber stamp me, folks. I'm the guy that used to be the county chair that said no. I used to say no constantly. No, we're not raising taxes. No, I don't want to raise taxes. Stop raising taxes. I fought about it, fought against it, even up until just recently here in Volusia County. I'm the guy that used to look at them and say, you need to shop better because you don't know how to spend money. And they don't. They don't. They just throw money willy-nilly like a bunch of liberals. Speaking of liberals. But anyways, so it took me a while to find some software that actually would let me create my own website. Whatever happened to the good old days of Microsoft Front Page? Come on, guys, up there. If anybody's listening from Microsoft, rebuild Front Page. Let's get that thing back out here, because I tell you, it was so much nicer to build a website. The one I got, which I'm not going to give a commercial for, but the website I got was free online. It took me a while to find it, and it still took some finagling and maneuvering, and it's not as fluid as I would like it, but it is what it is. So I will have to keep working with it and see what I can do. But anyways, we got it all up and running, and we'll make some changes as time goes on, like every week or every day. Whenever I make a podcast, you'll get the new one. And it's connected right there on the front page of JasonDavisPodcast.com. So go there and check it out and drop me a line. We even have a little comment page there for you. So if you want to write a little letter and say thanks or do this or do whatever. And I got one already, believe it or not. I got somebody that wrote me one, and we're going to discuss that matter later. Probably next week. But anyways, no, today we're also kind of reviewing the week in review. Like I said, it's been a little crazy. The hurricane came through a couple of weeks ago, and that kind of shut everybody down, and it actually shut the internet off here at the old iron bunker. And we finally got that back up and running, and now we're back online with that. And then now we got a tropical storm actually churning around out there today, this very day, the 14th of September. There's a tropical storm out there, not as deadly and dangerous as a hurricane, but it's still dumping a ton of water on the Bahamas. So we had that going on. In the beginning of the week, of course, the lamestream media didn't even think about this one. In the beginning of the week, Mr. John Bolton, he resigned or was fired, whatever. It doesn't matter. He doesn't work at the White House anymore for the President of the United States. He is no longer the security director or whatever he was doing. And, of course, that very same day, the President signed an executive order streamlining all the processes and who gets to say who in this country or in this world is a terrorist organization or a terrorist threat. And he signed that paperwork, and he got it streamlined and more defined as to who can do it. The FBI can do it, the CIA can do it, the President can do it, Congress can do it, but not a city. So San Francisco, you're off. You might as well forget about it. Anyways, we'll go on to that in a minute. So, but no, the lamestream media didn't want to hear about how he's trying to fix our government, how he's trying to seriously working to do things on the 9th of or the 10th of September, the day before September 11th, day of mourning. No, what does he do? What do they do? Oh, what about John Bolton? Come on, folks. The Secretary of State has nothing to do with John Bolton, yet they're asking him questions. That was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. I am ashamed of those people in the press room. I've been there, by the way. I've sat in that press room before. I actually got up on the stage. Nobody else was there, but I got to stay there and waved and had my picture taken. But anyways, so that was just disgusting. That was bad form, as they say in England. That was very bad cricket, and it was terrible. But anyways, and here they are detracting, and they haven't talked about that since. No, they haven't. So then, of course, September 11th came through, and I was off the internet. I wouldn't even turn the computer on because I was paying homage and honor to those 3,000 people that died. And I talked about that the day after. And now here we are today. And on Thursday, they had the Democratic debate. Yay. And I got a few things to tell you about that. Folks, what a joke. These idiots, and they're sitting there saying, oh, no, we're not about socialists. We're not about socialists. You're talking about socialist programs. Free health care for all is a socialist program. Somebody has to pay for it. And Bernie Sanders, he's very adamant about being a socialist, and he wants you to work your butt off, make $100,000 a year so he could take half of it away and give it to somebody else who didn't do anything. That's right. That's socialism. I will take half of the money you make and give it to somebody who was too lazy to do anything. You know what ends up happening? It's pretty soon nobody's working. Nobody's working. Why should I work? I'm just going to get half. If I get $10,000 because you make $20,000 a year and I get $10,000 of it, why do I want to work? Right? The only people that will actually work are the people, the farmers, and the people with animals and livestock, ranchers and cattlemen and farmers. But you know what? They're going to have to give half of their food away. They're going to have to give half away because the government's going to say, well, you have to. Well, actually, they're going to give more than half away. They're going to give them a majority of their food away, and the government's just going to reap the money off of it. That's socialism, folks. Don't get locked into this free healthcare crap. Because we were not afraid of being without health care until 8 years ago. And then everybody got panicky. And like I've said earlier and many times before, the Democrat Party, which is the party of hate, the party of fear. They are fearmongers, folks, and they are trying to get you to run and say, oh, you will save us. Let me tell you what they do. They've done more destruction to this country in the past 8 years than any president has ever done. They have raised the budget, the national debt, higher than all presidents before added up. People don't get that. Our national debt under the Obama administration went up more. That would be if you took from the Bush administration, the Clinton administration, and all the way back. And you took all those people and you said, all right, add all of the debt they incurred for this country, it still does not equal what he did in 8 years. That's socialism, folks. Spend your money and don't care. But here we go, the debates. Onward to the debates and the crazy liberals up there offering you free health care and free this or free that. And Mr. Yang was kind of funny. If you didn't notice, he was standing up on a box on the end because he's too short. He's one of the shortest people up there. So they put him on a box to elevate him up so he could tower over everybody too. Folks, let me tell you the facts. Let me give you the truth. The truth. Yes. Here we go, folks. You know I got to play it.
You can't handle the truth.
The truth is here, folks. I'm going to throw another one out there in a couple of minutes. So don't worry. We got more entertainment coming. These people think that you will just bow down to them because they're going to pay off your student debt. Free education for students. They're going to bow down because you're going to get free health care from them. You're going to bow down to them because they're going to take away all the guns. I heard this one. Yes, we're going to come in and take your guns out of your house. I looked at when I saw that soundbite, I said, you've got to be kidding. How many amendment rights do you want to violate? 5th, 4th, 8th. Okay. Dude, first things first, you start showing up at people's houses, say, we're taking your weapons away. You're going to have a fight on every single street corner. You are going to create mayhem. It is not the job of the federal government to tell me what kind of firearm I can have. If I want to have a bazooka, what in the world are you going to do? You know, if I went down to the Army surplus store and bought an M60 tank, I could park it in my front yard. It doesn't matter. It's the freedom that we have to do these things. And all law-abiding citizens are not the ones to blame for the very small majority of a very minor number of people in the country that shoot people. I don't shoot people anymore. I was in the military, did my job, but I'm not out here raising a weapon up. You know, if I'm carrying a sidearm or a rifle, it's for one of two reasons, for self-protection or because I'm hungry and I'm going to go find something to eat and I have to hunt. I don't have to hunt because the grocery store is pretty well stocked up there, although I was thinking about it during the hurricane because, let me tell you what, the food was getting kind of, and that's another thing. See, that's part of the fear-mongering. Go get water. Everybody's got to have water. My gosh, get water, get water, get water. Why? Come on, folks. You know water's gravity fed out of the water tower. And it's pumped up there by a generated, you know, when the power goes out, a generator kicks on, it runs the motor and it pumps the water up there. So you're going to have water. Why are you going to run out and get water? How stupid that is, folks. Think that through for a minute. Oh, well, I don't have city well. I don't have city water. I have a well. Well, so do I. And you know what? I have a generator. I have enough forethought to have bought a generator a couple of years back and put it on the side of my house. And here is a generator. And when the power goes out, turn the generator on. Boom. Guess what? I have water. Come on, folks. Common sense somewhere. I'm telling you, it's just, this is a good place to play this.
Almost as stupid as a stupid does.
Because that is absolutely stupid to have to run out and go spend a lot of money on bottled water when you actually have water flowing through the pipes constantly while the storm is going on. And I talked about this before. So we're not going there. But this is what the liberals want you to do. They want you to be afraid of everything around the corner because government's going to take care of it for you, like they keep the drugs off the street. Right. They keep the drugs out of the prisons, too. Yeah, they're doing that. Yeah. Wait a minute, they're not. Oh, my goodness. You're telling me the government has failed? Yes, they have failed. There are certain things that the government is supposed to have done that they don't do because you have too many rules and regulations and too many fearmongers up there. It's like I said before. if we fix all the problems, nobody's got anything to talk about, and then you're just going to get elected whether you're pretty or not. And, of course, I would be elected every time. Yeah, I get to have a little fun on that. But, yeah, I know what he said.
There you go again.
Yeah, sorry, Ronnie. But anyways, so here we go. We got our debates, and we're going to get into this debate thing. Let me just, now that you know how government really thinks about you, government doesn't give a damn about you. These people at the DNC do not give a damn about you. They do not care about your opinion. If they want your opinion, they will give it to you, as they have done on that stage. They got these crazy socialists up there running around saying, we're going to give you everything you need in life. But just remember what Ronald Reagan said. Any government that's big enough and wealthy enough to give you anything is also big enough and strong enough to take everything away. So just remember that part. But they don't know what they're talking about up there. First things first, they can't come into my house and take my weapons because that's a violation of several constitutional rights, and I do have the right to defend myself even against law enforcement. If they are coming to my house, say, give me your rifle. No, I'm not giving you my rifle. They say, we're going to take it by force. Now, you've escalated to a point of where I have to defend myself. Yes, it's legal to defend yourself against your government even. Oh, it's in the Constitution. It is, and I've read that to you. Read it yourself. Second Amendment, Constitution. Fourth Amendment, Constitution. I have the right to be secure in my home, and nobody should come into my home. Anyways, they're going to give you free health care. Yay! No, they're not. They can't. It doesn't work. That's why. Financially, they could physically do it. But financially, they can't. So you've got to remember, everything they're talking about comes at a cost. Oh, we're going to take all your rifles. You can't do that. Oh, we're going to open up the borders. No, there's laws that say you can't. None of them want open borders anyways. Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to impeach the president, Donald J. Trump. Well, first things first, folks. You're a little over a year away from the next election. You couldn't get the articles of impeachment through. And then the way they do investigations, they're just doing this to drag their feet and try to drag them through the mud when there's nothing to find. But they're making all these promises to you folks, all of them. Yes, and not a one of them will come true. Because here's what's going on. The DNC actually doesn't really care what you want. They don't care who you're going to vote for, just like they did in 2016. They didn't give a hoot who you voted for. They did not care that you liked Bernie Sanders, the super socialist, who, by the way, every one of them is a liar, by the way. And I've told you that, too. They're all drinking out of plastic straws and eating hamburgers at cookouts. Yeah, you can find them on the internet, and yes, they are true. Those pictures, I saw a collage of them, I laughed. The person that is going to win the presidential nomination for the Democratic Party is going to be Joe Biden. The end. CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, just like what they did with Hillary, they're pumping and pumping and pumping and pumping and pumping and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. People are slowly peeling off and peeling off and peeling off. Although Joe Biden by himself couldn't get 15 people into a room to listen to him talk but now everybody wants to go there just to hear him screw up and make these funny gaffes about, how all these poor kids have just as much, let's see, what was it? It was poor kids have just as much to offer this world as white kids. Yeah, that gaff. Trust me, they're all racists. They are the party of hate. They are the party that created the Klan, folks. And if you don't believe it, pick up a history book that starts off look at history after 1864. American history after 1864 is when the first part of the Klan started. And voila, it started in the South, which was democratically controlled and regulated. There were more Democrats here than anything else. We've done our best to change that around, of course. But they are the party of hate. And Joe Biden, they don't care about Bernie Sanders. They don't care about Kamala Harris. They don't really care about AOC. She's about ready to lose her job. Thank goodness. They don't care about Hillary Clinton. They don't care about Bernie Sanders. They don't care because Joe Biden has already been chosen by the DNC to be the one to win the primary election for the Democrats. And I'm sorry, just like they did for Hillary Clinton when they ousted Bernie Sanders and screwed him over. Yes, they did. And everybody knows it, but we're not saying anything about it. But they did. They screwed him over big time, and he lost votes and money and funding and everything else, and Hillary Clinton won the election. She won the primary. Joe Biden's going to win the primary. That's my prediction. Which really doesn't matter because, because it doesn't matter if it's Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren. Let me just tell you this, folks. Donald Trump's going to eat their lunch, whoever you are. The man has got 4 years of solid growth and solid everything. The guy has done more for this country in 4 years than all those idiots have done in 38 or 40 years. How about this, folks? I got a really good idea, and I think this would really, really work. Why don't we all get together, American people, and let's really push for the term limits on these congressmen and senators. They did it to the president, and we really need to get these guys like Joe Biden, who was sitting up there for 35, 40 years, who did nothing. Absolutely. He sponsored one bill, and then all he did is he debated and talked about the rest. He sponsored one bill, I heard. And that's all I've ever saw. Now, if he did more, that's fine. But they haven't accomplished anything. We're still in a war for 18 years that Barack Obama could have gotten us out of 8 years ago. He didn't. Donald Trump is now stuck with this. We are when a war kind of lasts for a long time, you kind of get stuck in it, and you got to figure real hard. It's hard to get out. They destroy our economy. They want China to, win over on all of our exports. They want to take over us financially, which Trump is not going to let happen. They don't want to talk to North Korea. Well, you've got to talk to these people that are your enemies and negotiate some sort of deal, because that's called, I don't know, negotiations for peace. Come on. They're trying to beat up Donald Trump because he's been doing his dang job. I think really this is what we have.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
And we need to fix that failure to communicate by telling all these Democrats to go pound sand. And we need to limit the terms in office for senators and congressmen. Almost every state in the union has a limit on congressmen and senators on their state legislation. Almost every county in the country has a term limit on legislators that sit in the chair or on boards. We need to do the same thing, and we need to really push folks to get that done up in D.C. Because when you got these people running around with nothing else to do but just raise hell, and we're going to run for president now. That's something else. I think they all should resign while they run for president. But they're not getting anything done anyway, so what the heck? It doesn't matter if they run for president or not. They're not doing anything. So what we really need to do is we need to limit the terms, so maybe we can get some people up there that will do something and do their dang jobs and earn that paycheck that we pay them. Yes, they work for us. We need to limit how long they get to be there. Because, folks, you know what? If you want a really strong country and you want things to really start happening, that's just a part of common sense.